So true. So, Osh, in terms of, I was watching an interview that you were talking about your book. So we'll move on to that, the book just quickly again, and you were saying how important taking care of yourself is, and it's amazing for me. I mean, it's not necessarily amazing because it's something that I only found with going through the same thing with OCD being probably the biggest contributor to it, and anxiety, but just how much better your life can be when you get up every morning when the alarm goes off. You take care of your exercise. You exercise a lot. You eat healthily, and you have a purpose, and you take care of your mind as well. How much of your mental health was bettered, I guess, by those simple tricks? Because a lot of people feel like when they're in the shit, that it's just them, and we know the neurology behind it, that it's just them, and that they've tried all those things and nothing's going to help them.
I would say that, and I can say this because I've done it. In the same way that you don't accidentally appear on the front cover of Men's Health magazine, you don't accidentally or just by itself have great mental health if you've shown that you need to put a little extra work in. Right? It takes work, but it's worth it. I was on meds for a long time, many years, and all kinds of meds. At one point, apparently all of them. And I'm currently not on meds, but there's a very big difference between not taking your meds and not needing to take your meds. And to keep not needing to take my meds, there's some things that I need to do every day, in the same way that, I don't know, someone who's diabetic needs to be aware of everything. I only recently got diagnosed celiac, so I need to be aware of what I'm eating so I don't get cancer of the duodenum, right? It's just something that you need to do. And if you've got a brain that, is a little, has a penchant for wanting to run away with itself every now and again, there's some things that you can do every day that will improve that. And, those things can be, multitudinous, but at the least, if you're not feeling valued, if you're not feeling that you have meaning, if you're not feeling that you matter to somebody, if you're not feeling your work has purpose, if you're not feeling safe, those things are all going to impact your mental well-being quite extraordinarily. And these, hopefully, unless you're in a war zone, you can do some things about that. You can do some things about how, do you feel valued? Can you find a way to be of value to somebody?
Yes. Yes.
Can you, do you feel you're worthy? Can you find worthiness within yourself? Do you feel that your work has meaning? If you can't find a job that has meaning for you, for example, your friend who does your laundry, her work has extraordinary meaning to her. Can you, think about the way you think about your work? Like, you might, I don't know, it's a job that I can't live without. It's a job that somebody does, and it's a job that someone pays their wages with, pays their, puts food in their kids' mouths with. Like, say you could be a cashier at the supermarket, right? And you might just sit there going, boop, I hate my life, boop, I hate my life, boop, I hate my life. Or you could go, look at this, I'm helping every one of these people feed their families. I'm helping this person make healthy choices about that. This might be the first day of their health kick, and I'm here to make sure that they have a great time and they're on their way. This is extraordinary. I'm helping. These people have worked hard to make this money, and with this money, they're turning it into food, and that food is going to sustain them through, being there for their families and making sure their kids have a great day. All right? That's what that job can be if you want it. But you've got to actively think about it that way. So those are some things, but there's also things that you can do internally to make sure that you're going to get the best chance. And if you're not feeling safe, then find a way to feel safe.
True.
And that might mean thinking about your relationship, thinking about where you live, finding maybe ways around that if you can, if you're able to. Then there's also things that you can do every day. You know, moving your body has an incredibly positive effect on your well-being. There's research out there that weighs it up against antidepressants. I would recommend you go and search that out. You know, stimulating the dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine in your body by working out. I prefer to do so in the morning. It's easier for me to lift heavy, and in lifting heavy, I feel better. So I used to just ride bikes, but then I now lift things. And you know, being mindful of your thoughts, and like we were talking about before, you know, not necessarily questioning every thought, but just being aware of being able to be in observance of the thoughts and just check them, just double check them. And sometimes I go offshore. I go, hey, honey, you know that thing that I said to that person, did they react funny, or am I thinking that? She goes, you're thinking that. So, okay. And that way I kind of know. Sometimes I have a hard time telling. But yeah, I write a gratitude list every day. I write down all the things that are swirling around in my brain, whatever I might be fearful of. I write it down every day. I challenge those things, with my hand, with a piece of paper and a pen. I challenge those things if I need to. I write down, what I see for myself, and what I'd like to get done in that day, what I did good in the last 24 hours, what I'd like to do better in the next 24. All these things I do every day, and sometimes I have to get up quite early to get it done. But when I don't do it, I miss it. The other thing that I think is really, really, really important is prioritizing sleep. I've done my fair share of field testing on how drugs can make you feel, good or bad, and I would like to say that categorically nothing feels as good as 8 hours.
It's true.
Ooh, 8 hours of sleep, man.
Oh yeah,
that's the one.
Yep,
that's the one.
8 hours of sleep with a bit of toast.
That's the one. So prioritizing sleep can go so far to improving how you feel through your day. And look, if that's what you need to do to get by, then that's it. You might then only have 23 other hours that you've got to get your shit done with. But the life you get to live, because you are so deliberate and have that discipline, just puts multiples of effectiveness and satisfaction on top of what you would have had otherwise. And I can only say that from my experience, that's what's happened.
Yeah, it's great. And I think it comes down to the ability to recognize that you are an individual that has needs, but could also potentially cultivate dreams as well. We live in a world now, this is something that Viktor Frankl spoke a lot about, where, the need to survive all the time has essentially been, the very least in the Western world, has been eradicated completely, where, I say this all the time, but the worst thing that we have to deal with is poor Wi-Fi, and for our grandparents to even be able to conceptualize Wi-Fi is just beyond any form of idea that they could think of, but we live in that world, and it's a great world. I'm so appreciative to be alive in this day and age, but then there's all this stimulus all the time that's telling us to do this and be more and better, and junk values and all sorts of things, that when we finally do move away from all that, it's only a few times, if you don't prioritize it, that you begin to actually recognize again, oh shit, I'm a person, and that's right, I had a dream that I wanted to be like a fireman when I was younger, and creating a vision for yourself and looking forward to tomorrow, as opposed to constantly ruminating in your head about all the things that happened and shit that you couldn't control, is so important. It's just having a vision.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. Viktor Frankl, actually, there's many things in that book that he wrote, Man's Search for Meaning, that really stood out for me. And I think there's two that are really powerful. Number one is, it's how the greatest power we have as humans is how we choose to think about things. And having had a brain that got quite sick and I wasn't able to make that choice, being able to do it again is, it's fabulous. The other thing that he said, which is really good, I think he was quoting his grandmother, that there is no such thing as good or bad weather. There is no such thing as bad weather, only inappropriate choice of clothing. And I thought that's some deep wisdom, right there.
Yeah.
And I've heard it prophesized that there's no such thing as bad surf, only inappropriate choice of surf craft.
Oh, very good. Yes.
Also a very, very good one.
That'll be the takeaway.
The surf is the surf. The waves are doing what the waves are doing. All right. What you choose to go out in them, or if you choose to go out in them, that's what makes it good or bad. Like, you could, if it's not just like a perfectly peeling left-hand sand bottom bank with nobody on it, or it could be a junky onshore, crumbly swell. But if you've got a surf net, you're going to have the best day ever.
So true.
It's all about. It was Dave Rastovich that told me that. He was very clever.